Hey, my name's Matt and I'm building a Sopwith Camel. This week I've been doing destructive testing and my pains, this is what I've got. So join me on the trip this week and see what I get up to and how this pans out. Obviously not good for this rib. But I'm about to have a go at this destructive testing and I've got no idea whether this is going to be my last take. It's definitely the first take. I'm going to try loading up this rib for the very first time and I'm going to see what happens. And I want the camera rolling because if it breaks I want that caught on camera. You'll probably see a shocked look on my face at the same time. So yeah, I'm just going to give this a go, just see how it pans out. What I've got here, for those who don't already know, is you can't quite see it. It's blocked by this piece of timber and this is marked off in 1/8 segments so I can iometer where the weights are going on here. The weights are actually being held, taken up by this rib. Now I'll just pull this rib off. Oops. Here we go. I'm not going to remove the straps just because they're convenient at the moment. But this is the rib that's being tested. It's going to be tested to destruction. I'm going to talk a little bit about the flaws. You won't be able to see them, but up here the timber is delaminated, which is the main reason this piece of ply is a reject. So that's delaminated, and it's possibly too thin in 1 or 2 places. On each of these flawed ones, it's only 1 or 2 places, but I don't know what impact it's going to have, which is part of the reason why we test. The cap strips are a little bit thinner than desired because the timber has shrunk between me doing the cap strip and now applying them on here. And in addition, the cap strip on this one would be a reject anyway because it's too wavy, so there won't be enough strength in it. What I haven't done, and I may do in a minute, is I haven't screwed in the cap strips to the top of the spars, and I'll do that in a few minutes. No, I'll load this up. I'll see how it goes and I'll do that for the next one. What I think will happen is the cap strips will go. That's what I think will happen. So yes, see how we go. I've got to be clearly I'm working through this as I go. This is my chart for working it out. Cool. Don't know if you can see all that. So across the top line I'm working, I'm going to aim straight away for 7 times loading. So those are the weights I'm going to put in each of the different sections, and then I'm going to add 5 kgs at a time, just until it breaks, and then I know where the breaking point is. And the second one I may end up loading up 2 kgs or 3 kgs at a time to try and refine where that breaking point is. And I'll make notes of the weights I put in each as I go and how heavy it is. So yeah, basically making it up as I go. I think I'm on the right track, but we'll find out. I'll probably fast forward from here.
Nobody knows what it is except those in the know, and there's only 3 of us, you, me and Ophelia.
Oh, there we go. That broke.
Well, it shows it works.
Cool. Well, that just broke. A quick look said a 20 kg. No, what have we got here? 10, about 40 kgs, 40, about 50 kgs. That broke it, and it broke at the Interesting, it broke on the tail, which which is not where I expected to break. And I had that about half loaded. Very interesting. It's also a break there as well. Cool. So I'm going to switch off for a moment and I'm going to have a look at this, see if I can figure out what happened. Then I'll come back to you. Awesome, it worked. Right, some initial analysis of this break. So I broke here, and there's a piece that came off, broke off at this point, and then it splintered along here. And the nature of the splint, I'm picking that's a force splint with this coming, the pressure coming this way from the weights, 10 kg weights. I think that's possibly a consequence as well. I think the actual break started predictably in the cap strip where the screw goes through. Now I'm kind of wondering if I'd put screws in the top of the spars, which I'm supposed to do, whether that would have helped carry the weight or whether that would have made a weak spot at the top of the spar. That's a bit hard to know really. But I'm reasonably convinced that there is pressure. If I have a look at my little diagram, that's what I had going on in the area. So at the top there is the weights I'm aiming for. So 20 kgs there, 15 kg there. This is what I got to before I started working. I was actually working on the nose at the time, but the nose wasn't where the break happened. So I had basically 10 kg there, 10 kg there, and 5 kg there. So roughly just shy of half the weight needed around this vicinity. And I think it'd be a combination of the weight here and these two weights here. This may have started it, these two definitely finished it. I still need to think this through a little bit, but I'm quite happy with that. It's just documenting this next rib. This I think was the first rib I put together. You can see a slight bulge there, slight bulge there. That's okay. Just poking, or wants to poke through there. It's not actually poking through, but it wants to. Flip it over the other way. There you go. Poking through. Wanting to poke through there. Don't know if the light's good enough to see that. Okay. Some dodginess going on there, and bulging there as well. That's bulging, but there's no extra screw in there. And I'll talk about that in a second. So this one I think is probably the worst of the lot. Oh, that's it, didn't spot that. It's where I've had too much glue. Interesting. On top of that, this cap strip's not the best, and it's got splits in these two places. So one there, and one down this way, there. So that's not great. And while I'm poised over this part, you'll see where that screw hole is and that screw hole is. They're both meant to be evenly a quarter of an inch away from the edge of the spar. And I'm picking that I had the spar held up the wrong way when I was lining that up on the jig. So the old measure twice, cut once philosophy didn't quite pan out this time. So that's a bit frustrating. What I intend to do though, so I can test this one, is I'm going to drill through that there, screw those in anyway. And the same with the rear sparks, did exactly the same thing. Screw those in anyway, test it, and then I'll create another spot for the next spar to go, next rib to go next door. So I'll put a third cap strip there. Oops, on the side where you can see the light. Third cap strip there, and from here on I'll mount the ribs on this side. So I get around that. Unfortunately my template for drilling these though is now obviously out. That's more of a pain in the bum than a actual problem. The other thing I've done is of dropping this screw here. I incorporated that screw because I needed something to hold this piece of rib in place. I figured a screw there would be the ideal answer. When I checked the plans last night, there's a piece that wraps around the bottom, around the trailing edge and across the top, and almost comes to that point. And that's held in by further screws as well. So in future I won't be putting a screw there. To be honest, at this rate I might not be putting a screw anywhere, but I'm just going with the flow at the moment. Cool, so yeah, just figured I'd better document that before I get round to testing. Right, going to give this a go. I think I've got maybe 10 minutes of light left, so fingers crossed I'll have enough time to break this rib. Keep in mind this is the first one I made, so it's probably the dodgiest. We will see. Oh my god. Wow. This is probably a bad idea to stop in video, but that is one significant bow. That is huge. That is huge. And I think most of it was when I put the weight on the back. I reach around the back and put it on. I'll take that off in a minute. But look at that, Jesus. Don't think the spars have twisted. And that's looking right as well. So I'm guessing the screws worked. That nearest damn it is 86 kg. Okay. Now I'm going to try and add 5 kg across the entire length. And I've got that worked out proportionally. I'll do the front and the tail first, do the centre last, because that's obviously showing the most damage. Okay, at this point I've got 91 kg loaded up on this, approximately. I'll add up the numbers properly later. 91 kg. Okay, the deformation is mostly in the middle section. I just want to capture that because I want to look at that later. I can't quite see it from my angle. Lots of deformation there, jeepers. And it's twisted as well, the top is leaning towards me. I'll take a shot from the front in a second. And that may well be to do with how the weight's been loaded on, stressing it in certain directions rather than others. Okay. Get the light out of it. There we go. I want to see the top there, and I want to see the bottom as well. It may seem a bit strange, but you guys have got a better view of that than I do at the moment. Take the other one. That looks like that bottom cap strip really does want to try and pull away. Really is hanging from the screw from the spar by the looks. The tailpiece looks pretty solid. barely moved. It's all the weights in that centre spar. That had me concerned because I thought I might need to replicate a trailing edge in order to keep this stable. Oops, just touched that. I probably shouldn't, but actually it's not looking bad at all. I reckon I could put another few kgs in that. Catches I've run out of sand pretty much. Started off with a full 10 litre bucket, but now it's now all distributed onto the spar. Other side. Well, I'm going to call it did not break at 91 kg. Sure as hell doesn't look very good, but it didn't break. Despite the flaws, including screws coming through and poor cap strips and everything else. I am quite frankly gobsmacked. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I've got my test numbers here. I didn't hit 91 kgs as I thought. I hit 87.4 basically, which is still above the 86 kgs I was aiming for. But I'm going to show you the test figures in part so I can record them myself. So yeah, hope you can make sense of that. Still a good success, still really happy with it, and I'm going to ponder as to what my next moves are with regards to testing over the next few days. Cool, see you soon. Cheers.